Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for after church tea time. We are going to be going over today the sermon that Lau and Alex gave about respecting God through your experiences. And so I'm excited to just talk a little bit about how this has played out in my life and really be able to get a little bit of feedback for you on how that works for you. So if you want to go ahead and share with us what you received today, that would be great.
Um, yeah, I really enjoyed the sermon today. I think it really hit on a lot of stuff that I've been healing personally and in my union, and just allowing God to lead and not feel like I like the my reality has to be a certain way.
Hmm.
And I've really been learning a lot of that is related to me respecting myself as like a divine being and as a twin flame, and understanding that that means that you're always putting God first, because he created you, and he gave you this life, and like this, like the true reality of who you are. I mean, I want to say identity, but I guess in a way it is like that's who our true identity is, divine children of God. And
Mhm.
so I think I've really, especially when I first met my twin flame, I was really in this place where I was just like mad about what was happening, because, in my mind, obviously there's a lot of healing to do around it, but in my mind, it was like I wanted it to be a certain way. And as I got deeper in the healing work, I really have come to understand that like a huge part of like honoring and respecting who I am and what is happening, essentially, like we're ascending. I'm healing parts of myself so I can come into union with God and my twin flame. And a lot of that has to like really do with just like honoring and respecting who you are, like what's happening in your reality. And so it was really cool to hear Lau and Alex talk about those things. I feel like I've been kind of having those epiphanies myself. So it was a nice like confirmation. Um, and yeah, I think that was like my biggest takeaway. Like just letting go and honoring what is happening. It
Mhm.
really is such a huge foundation of your union, because that is like essentially respecting yourself and God, and what his will is in your life, and essentially what is needed for you to like grow and move forward.
Yeah, I love that. What you really touch on there is like, in order to respect God in your experiences, you have to release control.
Hmm.
And when we are able to release control, then we naturally align to God's will. But I think sometimes we have a hard time respecting what God's showing us. For me, at times it'd be like, oh, this is too good to be true. Or like, I'm not sure where this is leading. So I don't know if I can trust it. And that's where a lot of like the eight keys of harmonious union come in, is those are the eight keys of harmonious union with God. And so learning to uh, release control and then to trust and persist through what God's showing you. And I've learned the more that I've respected what God has shown me, the easier, like not the easier, but the next step comes, or the next opportunity is coming to go deeper with God in that space. And also, you touched on something about like having to respect that you're a twin flame. I think that's a big lesson that a lot of people learn on this journey, is that we can't treat this as a regular like soulmate union, because that's what it is. And so
Right.
you have to truly respect what it is at its foundation and love it completely in that way. And when you make that shift and that thought process, um, very amazing things happen, because you're honoring the energy of your union instead of trying to operate it from a soulmate perspective. And so I think really going in on this work is also respecting your relationship with God. You're respecting the fact that He's brought you your twin flame, and you're either in your union or exploring your union. and having to really respect that experience, because that is such a gift to know your twin flame and to know just kind of the next steps in your journey that God is showing you. And so you have to honor the energy of it fully in order to expand in it and go deeper with God.
Yeah, absolutely. And like once you have that realization, because I feel like for me personally, it was a process to get there.
Hmm.
Um, like there was a lot of like things I had to work through and just let go of and heal. And you know, I'm really grateful that I feel like I've gotten to a place where I've made a lot of like good progress in that area. And I really am able to just like relax into what is happening. Like I still have my upsets, but it just doesn't feel so dramatic as it
Yeah.
used to,
Awesome.
so like needing to like control everything. And I just like understand, what is happening. Like, all right, he's doing this to help me. Like it's all in the service of love. And even if it upsets me, like I feel like I understand the whole purpose of it. Like, and I feel like when you understand the purpose of a twin flame, it makes it a lot easier to like respect and honor it. Because I feel like until I truly felt in my heart what the whole point of this was, like I couldn't fully let go of like these things that I was hanging on to because I thought it was like somehow protecting me, like, oh, like he's just because like with a soulmate, that's how it is, just like some random person out there, like you're not really connected in a real sense. And with your twin flame, like it's totally different. Like you said, like those things just don't even apply, and there's like such a greater purpose that has to be respected. Like there's no way to move forward if you're not honoring like what it truly is and not being so like attached to what's happening on the outside, but like learning to like cultivate that love within. Like I think, I mean, and there's like still areas where I'm like healing through this because there's been a lot of layers to this respect thing. Especially like not, most of my life not having this work and like not understanding who I am. Um, I feel like it can be really like you have really painful and challenging moments when you're kind of getting to that place where you're like you've accepted yourself and kind of like, you know, where you're at in your life and like realizing that it's like really it's okay, like it's all good.
Yeah, it really does come down to like when you're respecting God, you're also respecting yourself and the choices that you made. If you're
Yeah.
choosing to heal, respect that that is a choice that you made and continue moving forward with that healing. If you're choosing to work through all upsets with your twin flame, continue moving through all upsets with your twin flame. Like, not only is it like I have to respect God, but you respecting yourself is you respecting God. You respecting your twin flame is you respecting God. And it's the same thing too, like with your finances that I've come to learn is like when you respect the flow of your finances or you respect what's happening in your finances and come to acceptance and heal it, like those are all avenues and ways of you respecting God and what He's brought into your life. And so I think sometimes people get caught up on like, well, how do I respect God? And they like see him as like an omniscient presence in the sky somewhere and trying to figure out how to like create that respect. But it's ultimately like having respect for life altogether and really honoring your experiences and being able to enjoy them and or like take the lessons from them as they come. And that's been a big one for me these last few weeks is especially having some really like hard and deep upsets. It's like you can attach to them and dramatize them, which is a very easy thing to do, is to kind of go into that victim state and be like, why is this happening to me? Instead of realizing it's like happening through you
Mhm.
and that it's part of what you're creating due to what's going on in your inner world. And really just like taking a step back and allowing yourself to be like, okay, this is the experience that I created. Like, I'm going to choose to respect that, but I don't have to continue choosing this. I can choose
Yeah.
something different and really just take the lesson from what you received in that space so that you can honor it completely and move through it completely. But really being able to just respect your life in general and honor just how things are coming up. I think a big one too is you mentioned like not attaching to things. And
Hmm.
that can be really hard on this journey, is attaching to what the 3D looks like, or attaching to what your twin flame's doing or not doing, and seeing it as like life again is happening to you and against you, instead of it working out for you, which ultimately life does start to play out and work out for you when you work the process and you work it for
Yeah.
yourself inwardly. And so being able to release attachment to how things come up and how things unfold is really going to be a crucial part of your journey, because you're able to just move things through things so much quicker, because you realize that, okay, I created this somewhere through my thoughts and my feelings and my beliefs here. And also, I probably did it without, a lot of the times I realize I create things I don't want to create because I didn't partner with God in that space. And so I'm learning to really just buckle down and partner with God in these spaces so that I can respect my partnership with God, my relationship with God.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I feel like I've been there too. And like, and I feel like through that, I've just been enjoying life so much more, like
Hmm.
the smallest things that I wouldn't even like really pay attention to, like eating food,
Mm,
like what am I doing in the morning when I wake up?
yeah.
What am I doing when I'm going to bed? Like all these like, and I just feel like so much like tenderness and like vulnerability here, because I feel like when I wasn't partnering with God, I was just like moving, going through the motions. Like life was just like blah.
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
but now it's like when I'm doing it with God, things just feel so much lighter and like, I don't know, like tender, more vulnerable. And
Mhm.
I feel like I'm actually like understanding what it means to like just be alive, honestly,
Yeah.
um and like just once again like respecting that I am so powerful, like I can create a beautiful life for myself, and
Hmm.
all I have to do is like love myself. Like I literally don't need another person. Like
Hmm.
it's just me. And like, and like going back to the sermon, and you know kind of what Alex was saying about like the definition of respect isn't necessarily um agreeing with someone. It's more so like honoring the like your feelings, like like honoring what is happening. It's not necessarily like, oh, you're always going to be like getting along or agreement. And I just feel like that's kind of what I had in my mind before. Like respect just means like you have to agree with someone, and there just needs to be some sort of like compromise about something. And now, doing this work, like I've realized like no, like respect really just means like honoring yourself and honoring your feelings and honoring your reality. And like what you said, like we are so powerful. Like whatever is happening right now, it's like, you've made a choice in your consciousness, and you can easily make another choice. And um the like not going into victim mode, like you said, kind of like resonated with me too, because I feel like that's been a huge pattern I've been healing,
Hmm.
that's kind of related to like God pushing me to, see myself as like a divine being that deserves my respect at all times, no matter what is happening, no matter what I've done, and like deserves that level of love in every moment. And so it's just like such a nice pivot to actually understand what it means to truly respect, or like what that word even means in God's standards and not like society's standards.
Yeah, absolutely. I think society standards has more of like an authority figure kind of energy to the word respect. Like, I am your boss or I'm ahead of you, so I need you to respect me. And sometimes that can be abused. And so people have felt abused in the space around respecting others or being respected. And when we can really align it with like what God truly desires for us in this space, I think for me, one thing was like having to respect the fact that part of the ascension journey meant that I had to move through some really uncomfortable things. But
Mhm.
after I moved through it, I was going to find love and peace and God in those spaces. And I had to respect that that was the journey. And there was a part of me that was very resentful about it at first and had a really hard time moving through the fact that there were some uncomfortable things in my consciousness that had to come up to be cleared. And that ultimately for me, I wanted to go into the space of like, I don't feel good enough. I'm not worthy of this. I'm not deserving. But then that comes back to not respecting ourselves as a divine being, a divine child of God. And so it does require a lot of attuning of your consciousness. That's why it's really important to have Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class, and that you're in that work and that you're working with an ascension coach, and that you're really choosing to make this a lifestyle and not just a thing that you do so that you can get your twin flame. And
Yeah.
I've learned by watching a lot of people in the community, those who have really chosen to like take on this work and make it part of their life and their daily way of living, that they really do get to have all of those things. And then those that are here just for the twin flame, which may like sometimes that's just people's intentions, I guess. Um, they find that they have a lot of contrast in learning and a lot of like deep back and forth with their twin flame because they're not consistent with themselves or with God. So they're not going to see consistency in their union. And
Yeah.
so the consistency comes from recognizing that you're doing this work not only to be in harmonious union with your twin flame and God, but you're really truly doing this work to be in harmony with yourself
Mhm.
and to really have that kind of respect for yourself, to do the work, to show up on a daily basis, to write out the mirror exercise, to really honor the body of work that we've been privileged with, which is there's just so much love and so much there for us that it's like we would be crazy to not respect that that's what was given to us. And so I've had to really learn to allow myself to kind of just go back to the basics when it comes to these things. That's, I think, another thing I've had to learn is to respect the basics of this work and not to make it so like hard and more than it needs to be, and really honoring the fact that this work is a way of being able to change and harmonize every aspect of your life, which is
Mhm.
really profound. I've done so many different courses and so many different workshops, but this is like the first thing that really touches on every single thing just by using one tool, which is the mirror
Yeah.
exercise, and you really building your relationship with God. And so, as you truly allow yourself to relax into that and honor that this is an experience you've chosen in this lifetime. I mean, you can always make a different choice, but I think that if you want your heaven on earth and everything you could desire, like this is the way to go. And it's also ultimately the fastest way to go, too. And so, being able to look at places where maybe you feel that you've had deep upsets around respecting others or being respected back, and being able to respect the God in them, God who's communicating through them. I have this hard time with my twin flame at times where he's sharing something with me, and I know that he's doing it through love. I can feel it, but because he's like telling me I need to do something, I just want to go into the space of like, you don't tell me what to do. And then I have to recognize like I have to respect the God in him. Like I have to respect the divine in him because like he is touching on something here that I
Yeah.
feel defensive in, which means it may not be in alignment with God in this space. And so I have to respect that, like, he is my greatest teacher. I got to look at what he's showing me. But it's because I've had experienced abuse in the realm of like having an authority figure or someone sharing with me on, hey, this is what you should do next, kind of thing, and really learn to respect that they're leading me in that space, and that's okay. And I can receive their guidance and I can take it back to God, and I can respect myself and God by taking it back to God and confirming that with God, and then moving forward in that space.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like and it's, I don't know, it's like much more peaceful when you can do that, when just like recognizing the God in everything, really. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's been one thing for me that's also kind of related to just not respecting life.
Mm-hmm.
just the flow of life, the natural, like what is actually happening.
Right.
Because I feel like a big like core wound I've been healing is just like feeling safe, because I've just
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of like trauma in the past
Yeah.
in my family, like not like just not having reliable people around me and just like
Yeah.
constantly feeling like I gotta like fend for myself and like I'm all alone. And
Mm-hmm.
so like it's real and like when I met my twin flame, he triggered a lot of stuff, especially in the, when we first met, um, around that. And I would be so mad at him for like doing, certain things and like, how dare he do this? Like, how dare he talk to me like that? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and like, but like you said, like I chose to honor what, once I worked through the upset, I chose to honor like what he was actually showing me and like realizing that this is the path to my healing. Like this is a huge part of it. And not even like just him. It's like whatever is happening, if every like God is working through everything and everyone and just like being able to like not be so attached to the meaning that I'm like putting to it, like and it was always something related to like, oh, this person is trying to harm me, this person is trying to do something like bad to me. I think there's like a quote from Jeff from a TFAS class that's like something like ego sees love as its enemy, but love does not see ego at all, or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was just in that space because I just felt so like unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one huge thing that has really helped heal is just like recognizing that I am divine, like I am powerful. I If I'm not liking what is happening right now in my reality, like I can change it. And like I've never been alone. Like God's always been here with me. Like every experience, has pushed me to where I am now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like just kind of recognizing that in my heart just like makes me feel so safe. It makes me feel like, you know, every like whatever is happening, like I'm okay. And like that's why I just think like the sermon was really important because I feel like respect is just such a foundational thing in even your healing. Like I don't from my experience, like so much of me being able to move forward is just respecting myself as divine and like my reality as like an extension of what is happening to me on the inside.
Absolutely. And it's true. It's like it's one of the eight keys of harmonious union.
Yeah.
And I feel called to just read this real quick before closing down here. But it says, respect means that you honor the choices of your twin flame, yourself, and others. It means that you respect the choices of God in your life through your life circumstances. If you do not respect what you're experiencing, you are not going to move through the next level into the next level. If you're experiencing terrible, painful separation, you cannot avoid this experience. You cannot taunt or try to bargain with life in order to get it to change your experience. You must honor what you're experiencing by respecting that you're experiencing it. And it's only from there that the space that you can move forward through it. And this is what brings you the power to change your reality. And I really love that. I really think that it's important to really allow yourself to get very clear on the eight keys of harmonious union and really start implementing those in your daily life to get to a space of just honoring that that is part of the foundation of your union and that is the foundation for your relationship with God. And when you can truly honor that foundation, you will find that when things come up, this is kind of where I'm at right now, is like when things come up, I'm like, oh, okay, like It's not coming up to hurt me. I don't have to identify with it or attach to it. It's coming up because I chose something deeper here. And what is here is no longer in alignment to where I'm going. So let me allow it to come up and respect the fact that it's being purged at this moment in time, and that I'm actually calling in more love. I'm going deeper here. And so it has made the ascension journey a little bit more of a breeze when you can like honor and respect that this is just the experience of going deeper into your harmonious union with God, and that it doesn't have to be this I think we talked about it, this kind of dramatic
Yeah.
thing where we're like kind of like fighting our way through this upset and like feeling all these feelings. But that's another thing that I've had to honor too, is that I have to respect the fact that I am not my feelings. I am not my upsets, and that they're just coming up through me to be released, because that is just my next peace with God, and that it's safe to just relax into the process instead of continuously fighting it. But I think you touched on something there of a lot of people coming into this work do have a lot of trauma around feeling safe and feeling like they can trust the process and trust the people that they're around. And
Yeah.
so for me, I had to really honor and respect that God brought me here. It
Yeah.
was God who brought me into this community. Like I directly asked God, how do I heal this, or how do I come to this life that I desire? And He literally took my hand and walked me right into the community. And so I had to be like, okay, like this is where he's brought me. I have to respect that, and I have to like move through and experience all that he's bringing up for me in this space. And it really has allowed me to become, at least by far, the best version of myself through this work. And so, really allowing yourself to just let go of attachment to how upsets come up or how lessons come up, and know that they're here for your highest good and for you to just go deeper into love.
Yeah. Amen. Absolutely.
Okay. Are you feeling complete here in this space?
I am. Yes.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for After Church Tea Time. Thank you to Lau and Alex for that beautiful sermon. And definitely don't forget to like and subscribe for those who are on YouTube land. But other than that, we will see you guys next Sunday. And thank you again for joining us. Thanks for being here with me.
Yeah. My pleasure. Bye.